Conor, last time I saw you, obviously you were, I don't think you didn't have an opponent at the time, but obviously you had been talking about the Johnny Garton fight. It's a good time to be a British welterweight at the minute, really thriving scene. You were due to be making your return to the ring on the show that was supposed to be this past weekend. What's it been like for you, mate?
Obviously I had a good training camp. Was in training camp since January, so it was hard. It was a good training camp, but when things like this happen, I always try and see the positives in it, man. It don't really affect me in any way, because when this time passes, I make sure I'm ready to go again. The training camps don't do. The training camps don't do you any damage. I make sure I train hard and try and train consistent throughout the year anyway.
A lot of fighters obviously talk about having to have a date to work towards. At the minute, things are so up in the air. Are you tapering your training? Are you tailoring it to fit that sort of...
I'm definitely not training too hard. That is for sure. Otherwise, you end up burning out, which I have done before. So when I do run, I do 10K. I've got my weights there. I start my weights routine today, just something to keep, the body active and ticking over. So when I do come back to proper intense training, my body ain't like, what are you doing to me? So, yeah.
So that's like your physical preparation. What about boxing wise? Because obviously the gym, I'd assume, is closed. Are you still getting any technical work in? Are you still getting any actual boxing training in?
Not really, no. I can shadow box, but I ain't got a big mirror out here to shadow box in front of. And then when I'm shadow boxing, I feel like I'm doing, if I ain't under the watchful eye of my trainer, I feel like I'm going to then start creating bad habits again. So I'd rather just not in my head. But he does send me fighters through every day to watch and study.
Which fighters have you been watching?
Been watching Arturo Gatti.
Okay.
Plus Ivan Robertson, the first fight, and then watched the second fight, and then he sent me through 2 more that I've got to watch today.
Which fights did he send you? Did he send you the Gabriel Ellis fight?
That's it.
Yeah, that's a really good fight. Really good fight.
It. How do you know that?
What do you mean? How do I know that? My job's to know
that. He sent me that. No, I watched that fight already.
Okay.
I watched that one yesterday, but no, today we've got 2 different fighters.
Which era of Arturo Gatti? Because obviously he changed his style a lot. He started off as a little bit of a boxer puncher, then became like an all-out brawler, and then kind of went a little bit more back to his boxing.
We're watching. He showed me when he just used to go have it, and then when he changed his trainer and changed up his style, and was able to adapt and incorporate a smarter way of attacking. So that's what I'm studying at the minute. Because my offense is there. Being aggressive that's my style. That's what I do. That's when I'm at my best. Is when I come forward. But it's learning how to be smarter about it and setting your shots up more. And again, the fighter he's one of my favourite fighters.
Very entertaining fighter.
Yeah. He was here unfortunately he passed. And the way he passed away, but. He was here for a good time and not a long time. That's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah, I mean, in this era of kind of protecting your own and being an unbeaten fighter and what have you, you look at guys like him and other fighters who over the years, they prioritise giving entertainment to the fans and being in great fights. And there's more than one way to be a legend in the sport. Gatti Ward.
Don't get me wrong. It is. I sometimes feel like I'd rather lose my own.
Why? Because of the pressure that it brings with it?
Man, I sometimes feel like I would be a better fighter if I weren't undefeated. It's a very weird way of looking at it. But that's just what I think. I want to fight some top people in the division. Do you know what? It's worrying about who you lose to. Like, I want to go out, if I'm going to lose, against someone good. Do you know what I mean? Against someone really good.
You mentioned having the the pressure of having the O. It's different. It's different for you as well, because not only are you unbeaten and an unbeaten welterweight prospect coming up with a profile. Obviously, you've got the Ben name, which is always going to bring a target. There's always going to be a target on your back. Do you ever think
I've had that since I turned pro, mate.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? All them fighters calling me out, they ain't relevant, mate. Unless they got something I want, they ain't relevant. If I was them, would I call me out? Yeah, but I'm not them, so I don't need to fight him. If I'm not fighting him, I'm ducking him. If I'm not fighting him, I'm ducking him. And you know what? It's what their friends tell them to give them a big ego. Oh, Conor Benn's ducking you. You don't want that smoke. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just nonsense. It's what they tell their friends. Their friends, you know, who comment on my posts. You know, they're probably paying them a fiver to comment on my post or something. Do you know what I mean? And then you had that Congo piping up. And then that Luther Clay piping up. But yeah, when I see him at the press conference, not one of them said nothing. Do you know what I mean? So just stop clout chasing.
Mention Chris. Go on.
I like Luther though. Just before I throw that in there, I think Luther's a cool cat.
What do you think for that fight, him and Chris Congo? Obviously, you mentioned both of them as people who have called you out. That was one of, to tell you what, in this kind of period where there's a lot of fights that have been cancelled, that was one of the fights I was looking forward to the most.
I don't know. I think because when I see them two, hold on 2 seconds.
Go on.
When I see them two stand up at the weigh-in, I thought, do you know what? I think my money's on Congo, because Luther ain't a big puncher, and he's a lot smaller. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, Chris is very tall and rangy.
Yeah, see, I've sparred Congo ages ago. I had no problem with him whatsoever.
That would have been a really interesting fight. I would have really liked that.
Sniper the boss.
Hello, Larone.
Are you good? Yeah, I would like to fight for the British title, 100%. The British and Commonwealth, which Jenkins has. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to fight for that. Obviously, we were supposed to fight Garden. He turned that down, and then we got offered back Jenkins from Warren's team, and then we said yes to that, and they turned that down. So, it was frustrating, but yeah, I would like to fight for that. But if it doesn't materialise, it does not matter. We'll push on.
Get some questions in. Connor, what fight do you want next? You've actually, no, you haven't really answered that. Connor, which fight do you want next? If you could have any fight.
People say, ring rust and etc. etc. I don't believe in ring rust. If you've been working and you've been grafting, you will come back better because you had the time to drill certain things into you. So, who would I rather? Samuel Vargas, Johnny Garden or Chris Jenkins? Preferably whoever's got the British and Commonwealth title. The British Boxing Board of Control made me mandatory for the winner. So, I'll definitely get that shot next. And then once I win that, the British and Commonwealth, if the fight can materialise, then fight against Kelly.
Last time I spoke to you was, as I say, before Christmas, or I can't remember. It might have been before or slightly after Christmas. But at the time, we were still waiting, I think still for an official announcement on Kelly Avanesian, or there'd just been one. I can't remember who you would have picked at the time, but who would you see winning that fight when that does get rearranged, Kelly or Avanesian?
Avanesian for me.
Why?
I think he's an absolute handful. I think he's a handful, and I think he's all wrong for Kelly, in my opinion.
Aaron Parton says, "Who's the best boxer you've sparred?"
Best boxer I've sparred. Best boxer I've sparred. Toughest person I've sparred is that Lenny Zappa in Australia. He was tough, very tough. I sparred him with a wild card.
What was that like? That's a lively gym.
It was alright. It was hot.
Hello, hello, hello. I can't remember where we were. You were talking about the best fighters you'd sparred.
Yeah, Lenny Zappa. He was a tough kid.
Mm. He's been in some exciting fights. Jesus.
Yeah, Australian fire.
Okay. Well, I can't remember what other questions that we had. We had a couple. I remember looking at a few, thinking, "Oh, that's a good question," and now I've forgotten it. This is one thing I wanted to know because you're vegan, aren't you?
But when I'm in camp, I'm vegetarian camp. Hold
Why the difference in
on.
camp?
Because I feel like I'd shed the weight a lot quicker, and I can eat a lot more when I'm vegetarian.
That's a good. I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian since I got back from Saudi for the AJ fight.
How come? What was it? Why'd you?
To be honest, like out in like my job, I've put a lot of weight on since I started doing my
Hold on,
job.
let me just quickly answer this question. Do you
Go,
think
go, go.
it's important to have a massive amateur boxing to become a good pro? Not at all. I don't think you've got to have a massive amateur boxing career to be a good pro. My dad only had 20. How many amateur fights do you have? 30, wasn't it? 35. I only had 22. Anthony Yards only had limited, and I guess sometimes in the long run it can. Eubank Junior. I guess sometimes in the long run it can pay off when you've only had background, because when you're at the end of your career, well, not at the end, when you're at the peak of your career, your body might shut down on you from all the training you've been doing since the age of 10. So I don't know. I guess that's why I view it anyway.
Yeah, it's not essential. I mean, it helps, but also you have some fighters who have extensive amateur careers that they're so ingrained in the amateur style that when they turn over to pro, they struggle to make the transition. My favourite fighter of all time, sorry Nigel, my favourite fighter of all time, James Toney, didn't have an extensive amateur background either. I saw that look. Don't get him to give me a slap, please.
Hold on.
Go on.
Sorry. What's the best advice your dad given to me about the sport? Do you know what? Funnily enough, yeah. See, my dad's shaking his head. He hasn't. Look after you. Well, as you said, look after my money and be faithful. So and then we sat down and watched the boxing yesterday with my dad on my laptop, and for the first time ever. And I said to my dad, this is like weird, because we never sit down and watch fights together and go, oh, did you like him or him? He goes, yeah, but Arturo Gatti, yeah, you used to get hit too much. And it was just weird because we never sit down and discuss boxing together. He more helped me in real life where it actually counts. And he's put faith in my trainer with me. As far as advice goes, I think just... Yeah, my trainer, that's it. So, very weird, but yes.
When you get to world title level, then I'm going to put my 2 pence.
When he said when I start getting to world level, he'll start putting his 2 pence in.
I've got a couple of more interesting questions. Here's one. Do you have any pre-fight rituals, Conor?
Yeah.
Would you like to share them?
Yeah, I'll share a few. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, mate. I wish you well in your career as well, mate. And once all this passes, look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing you fight again. But yeah, pre-fight rituals. I jump in the I wake up. I have my nap after I eat. I send everyone out my room. I close the curtains, blinds, so it's pitch black in my room. I'll have a shower, but I'll sit in the shower and have the water pouring down on me. I'll meditate and think about how good this training camp's been. I'll come out the shower, I'll meditate for a little bit longer, and then I'll meditate for about an hour, and then I'll put All Eyes on Me 2-pack on my speakers in the room, and then I'll call all my team to come back up, and then we start getting in like proper happy mood, and then we'll walk over.
Is that the same ritual for every fight?
Every single fight. It's got to be a nice shower though.
Apart from boxing, are you any good at any other sports?
I could have been anything I wanted to be. Skateboarder, BMX. I'm joking. I really used to like skateboarding. No, I would have been good at anything, man. Apart from basketball, I was never really good at basketball. But apart from that, it could have been anything I wanted to be, honestly.
Yeah, you don't quite have the size for a basketball player.
Listen, there are short basketball players.
Yeah. Do you remember Spud Webb? Well, obviously it's before.
No.
So if anyone's watching this and wants to see short people jump really high, watch Spud Webb. Spud Webb back in the day, his dunk contest, he must have been like, I don't know, 5'10" or something, 5'8" or something. He was tiny.
What's the plan after boxing? The plan after boxing. I don't know, man. I don't look past tomorrow. In regards to with boxing, you never know what's going to happen. I've got my certificate 3 for my master's degree in fitness. I'll probably set up a gym, go into punditry. You know, whatever presents itself. Acting, who knows?
Acting, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What character would you play?
What kind of character I play? I'll play anything. Probably it'd have to be villain for sure. It'd have to be like some Mexican cartel business.
I'm actually writing something for boxing. So maybe you can be in that.
Oh, hold on. I wouldn't mind. Ben Davison, yeah, bro. I'm in Wise and Foot Soldier 4.
Are you in that with Coogan? Is Coogan in that one?
I don't think so. No, he's not.
Coogan's in a really good film called Killer Bitch. Brilliant. It's brilliant.
No, I haven't seen that. But they may be looking at bringing out another film where I'll be playing, one of the key roles in the film. So that'd be really cool. I think it's getting written now. The script is getting written now. So we just got to wait and see, man. Obviously, my main objective is boxing. But all these other things, it's nice to get paid by getting a smack in the mouth and also enjoy it. Yes.
Jamie Meacham-Free says, what's Conor's view on kickboxers turning over? My brother Ronnie Clark fought Payno kickboxing and he's the toughest fighter. He can take a mad shot. Conor didn't get enough credit.
It was tough, mate. It was really tough. I thought I was going to go in the fight and bang him out. I come back to New York when I knocked out Brandon Cenudo. I come back and I had that skin allergy. I went out partying out in New York because obviously I fought in New York. I mean, wow. And then I come back, weren't supposed to fight, and then I booked my holiday to Miami. I thought, yeah, I'll fight. I'll go and knock this bum out, and then I'm off to Miami and I'm a little nice lump in my wallet. And then wallet, bang, 1-2 down the middle. And then at that stage, I realised you can't overlook nobody. It would have been nice if someone said to me, it was like 5-time kickboxing world champion. It would have been nice if I knew he weren't actually. So it's all good though. It's all learning, and he was a tough guy, mate.
He was. I was at that fight. That was one of the best fights that I've seen at your call. That was a brilliant fight. That was a really, really good fight.
Thank you, mate.
You're very welcome. Any interest in continuing the Ben Eubank rivalry?
No, but obviously Eubanks has a few sons, so there is potential fights. As far as rivalry, I don't think there is any.
Hayden Hill says, have you always been a hard puncher or did you develop it over time with S&C and explosive work?
Listen, I weren't this guy I am today. I weren't this guy that all you lot see. Honestly, I'm not the guy you lot see. I was a skateboarder, kid, painter and decorator. Used to go to the skate park, ride my BMX, rollerblade, longboard. I played guitar. I sang in the church choir. I want this guy you see today. And sometimes I think, what happened? At what stage did I turn into a Mexican cartel-looking mofo? Or what stage was the transition? I used to wear purple ripped jeans. I used to listen to Avenged Sevenfold, Guns N' Roses. And it's just funny, isn't it, where life takes you.
And then I slapped the blacklist back in you.
And it slapped the blacklist back in you. Yeah, but you got to be, man. I mean, my dad says to me, the higher the monkey climb, the more he shows his batty.